How's it going? Today I want to talk about customers and business owners and how they might view product differently. So, I've been getting a friend of mine in Japan to pick up Japanese Pokemon booster boxes for me, and I thought, you know, they'd sell well, and I'd pick up that to supplement the very little amount of Pokemon product we're getting these days. And I thought it was a good use of some of my capital. And my friend was more than willing to go around to a bunch of different local card stores because he's often going around in Tokyo and other suburbs of Tokyo and going into game stores and hobby shops and that kind of stuff. It's kind of his usual thing. Now, of course, he is going out of his way, so obviously, he needs to get paid for that activity or some sort of consideration. And I also order games for him for when he flies into Canada, and I keep them on hold until he comes for Anime North, and then he'll pay for them. But in this case, it just so happened that these 4 booster boxes that he purchased back in November was shipping equal basically what he had ordered thus far, minus some Kickstarter for Goblin Dice or something like that. And then, so it just happened to be a good little trade-off. So he shipped them out to me, and he happened to ship them out from Japan using the Japanese mail, and it would arrive in Canada and then be picked up by Canada Post and continue its journey to me. What I didn't realize, I guess there had been talk of it or whatever, but basically there'd be a postal strike, and it would go on for quite a while. It's ended now, but they're backlogged, so I still haven't even received the boxes. At this point, I'm still not concerned. It is possible they could get held at customs. They could just be missing, that kind of thing. That's just the kind of risk that you take on those kinds of things. But I think it's just that Canada Post is really backlogged, so I think that they're, still in transit. Haven't checked mail in a few days. Could be in the mail. Recently, he picked up the latest set that's in Japan, and that is sort of a combination. Japanese sets are sort of, or our sets are halfway between their sets, or vice versa, or whatever. In any case, this is a set that's like, halfway between Prismatic Evolutions and Surging Sparks. Obviously, 2 very difficult to get things. So the boxes for these ones were more expensive. So again, I got him to get me 4 boxes. I would have gotten more, but they were more expensive, like twice the price or more than the other 4 boxes. Anyway, this is where my idea of the customer's outlook versus the business owner's outlook when purchasing. So like normally when people talk about this kind of thing, it's like, the business owner is selling and the customer is buying. So obviously they have different perspectives. In this case, I'm comparing both of our purchasing habits. And his wife helped me with this, actually, because she wanted to wait until the Friday, this was like last week, when there was some big sale coming. Or this is the way that he understood it. And from my perspective, thinking that the price might go down is not something that I would consider in this case for Prismatic Evolutions. It's possible for other things. I'm just saying, in this case, it was unlikely the price of anything with Prismatic Evolutions or Surging Sparks or adjacent to that would go down in price, even if there's like these, every few weeks they have these sales. So I told him that I didn't particularly want to wait for a sale. Obviously they're doing stuff for me, so it's not just my decision, it's what they feel like doing. And of course he agreed, and he was going to go pick it up. And then he told me the next day that it wasn't actually a sale per se, it's something else. So I'll get to that near the end of the video. But what the point of the video is, the customer, which my friend and his wife are, they are looking for a good deal, or the lowest price, or value, right? They're looking at it from, I want to buy this thing and I don't want to pay a lot for it, and what is the best way to not pay a lot for it? That kind of thing. And some people are on a spectrum from 1 to 10 on how much they care about the lowest price, right? Someone at a 10 is just constantly looking for coupons and constantly looking at every single, researching before they buy and waiting for when they know the best sale is coming or whatever. People down to 1 they'll pay the lowest price if it's not too inconvenient, right? But everybody will pay the lowest price. Make no mistake about that. There may be other considerations, as in they prefer to buy from this person over this person, so they might pay a higher price. But all things being equal, if there's something for $50 and something for $40 and everything else is equal, they want it for $40, right? And then as it goes up the scale, they want it for cheaper and cheaper, to the point where they can't conceptualize the idea, or they don't even like the idea, or however you want to put it, of markups that stores need to charge to pay their bills for the stores to be open, to get the products, and in the case of game stores, to have a place for people to play and meet and find the stuff that they need. So that's absolutely fine. That's what the customer is supposed to do, and different people feel differently about that. And that has, I'm lower on the scale for that when I'm a customer, and some people that I know are higher than that. My mother being the highest on that scale, basically looking for 0.3 cents on a liter when looking for gas and going to the next town to get the gas, So the customer, that's their outlook. The lowest price, all other things being equal, and how much they pursue that lowest price is based on, their personality. In the case of a store owner, the lowest price is a consideration, but it's not the primary consideration. It may not even be in the top 5. The consideration is mostly risk, opportunity cost, which is another form of risk. So the idea that, can I get this thing? And if I get this thing, how quickly can I turn it over and make a profit on it? And how much of a profit could I make on it? So that's the primary consideration. So if something is this, if two things are equal in price, but one can be sold faster, you want the one that can be sold faster. If one can be sold for a higher profit, you want the one that can be sold for a higher profit. If it can be sold faster and a higher profit, you want it. And if it's now double the price, well, you're going to charge more for it, and you know that it can move, right? Or you're fairly certain there's little risk of it not moving, no matter what price you paid for it, right? Now, obviously, this is more of a calculation. It's more of a, I guess, an internal algorithm that you're going to need to run in your own head. And it is nothing like what a customer experiences when they're purchasing things. And that's just something that is different between customers and people who are, running any sort of business. And of course, there's lots of other things, and maybe I'll get into some of those things as they come up, and I got a good little example of that. Anyway, so to get back to the thing I mentioned in the original video, so it turns out it wasn't a sale as in things were 10 or 20 or 30% off. It's actually that the points that someone makes on whatever swipe card that they have in Japan that builds up points that you can buy other things for, discount things. I don't know exactly how it works, but you understand a points card, and the points were triple that day or more. So in this case, I actually found it quite amusing that my friend's wife wanted to wait those days to get those extra points. And in fact, I said, sure, do that, because that's, you're finding these boxes for me. That's fine. So I told my friend that was fine if took 2 of the boxes, got them right away, and got the other 2 boxes on the points day. And I was perfectly fine with that. And in fact, I was reminded of a story he told me 2, 3, 4 years before, where he was talking about how there's this custom in Japan. I think it's during their New Year that the parents will give a little red envelope with cash inside of it to a child. And my friend's wife had told her mother that my friend grew up in Canada and they don't have this custom, and he grew up a sad life not getting these little red envelopes full of cash, and isn't it so sad? And so she started giving her little envelopes of cash. And my friend told the story in a way that, like, oh, I get these little things of cash, and, I just gotta act like, woe is me. And what I realized as he was telling the story and as I was probing for more questions was that really he was turning this money over to his wife. So in reality, this was her grift. And it is absolutely one of the most hilarious stories amongst my friends that I think that I pretty much ever heard. And I love it. And that really speaks to the wanting to get points on these boxes and why I respect my friend's wife. And certainly will in the future try to time my purchases around these points days. But I just wanted to make this quick video about how you can compare the mindset of a customer when purchasing versus the mindset of a store owner when purchasing. And that's basically it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and see you next time.